Well, as I said before, I'll do another part, and there may be one after this. I don't know. There's a lot in this show, and it's well worth your time to watch and pay attention to what they're doing. So, you might want to give that a go. I can't remember everything, but I'm going to put what I do. Now, somewhere at some point in the show, they talked, and I should have paid more attention to what episode we were on. They talked about this company that had made a bunch of genetically modified corn. And what was funny was, for one of the first times ever, they actually said how they were doing it. They take a germ or a bacteria, some kind of something, and they give the DNA, make it sick. And while it's trying to fix itself, they insert whatever particular element they want into that. And that's how they go about splicing the DNA. A good thing to look up is Jeffrey, I cannot remember his last name. Seeds of Destruction. Right now they're just selling books through here. I guess it's William Engdahl. There's a Jeffrey something that he stood up to him for years. And the problem is, as long as it's one person standing up, nothing ever gets done. There's got to be a bunch of people stand up. But they go into that. But anyway, in the show, they said that and in the show, as it goes through, this company, they don't name Monsanto by name. I guess they probably get sued. I don't know if I could or not, but let's face it, if I do, then he can get blood out of a turnip. Of course, they haven't sued him, so there's that. They mentioned 90%, and it was funny. I looked it up somewhere just a while ago, and they said 96% of all corn grown in the United States and a few other countries was genetically modified. Here they say 90%, but there's another number that's been updated. Well, look at there. All kinds of shot. But anyway, this company has got all these seeds, and 90% of everything being grown in corn is grown from their seeds. And like I say, you'd have to see, I think it's Seed Destruction, that you can see how they go through in one of those movies, and they show you how they actually break the DNA and strand apart. It's not CRISPR technology, it's the technology that was here before CRISPR. If you don't know what CRISPR is, you need to look it up. Because then it's genetically modifying humans and creating rats that glow in the dark, goats that glow in the dark, spiders or goats that milk spider web type stuff, and you can imagine how strong that is. It all sounds like sci-fi, but it's not. But anyway, they have these seeds, and I don't know who this Mother Jones is, but they're a piece of shit. But they've done the one thing that really they hadn't thought of. I mean, I think constantly of them just quitting a crop or waiting a year or two on a crop and then bring it back out so you can get more money out of it. But in this case, when there was so much of it planted, they weren't just teasing around with the crop. They were holding back on it and just accumulating more and more and more as they splice them through their labs. And they were basically going to starve people out. You'd be surprised what all corn's in. And you'd be surprised how many people can't cook unless it's already partially done. But it's there right here, it says it's far more than that now. 60 to 70% of foods in the supermarket shelves. Papayas in Hawaii, 77% are GMOs as of 1998. Milk, RGBH, bovine growth hormone, and there's another one too, RGBT. It's a lot of this stuff is banned everywhere but here. That's because our government's bought and paid for it. You know, even if you get the milk that's, you know, got all these steroids free, they still are plenty of products like ice cream, cheese. They contain no hormone. Yeah, that's what they hit first, was the sweet corn. Successfully petitioned? No. We found stuff in Trader Joe's and Whole Foods at one time was part owned by Monsanto. I don't know if they still are or not. But I wouldn't trust Whole Foods as far as I could walk in and throw something. Now Walmart, if you look hard at Walmart, you can find some Lily's corn that's non-GMO. And it's funny, it's 88 cents a can here, where it was. If you go to Whole Foods, the same can's going to cost you about $5. Zucchini and squash. I know from gardening, most of your crookneck, more crookneck than straight neck, more zucchini than crookneck or straight neck. And they are bioengineered. They're not real food. All natural foods. Here's General Mills. Campbell Soup Company is the worst. It's the worst soup that you can buy. It's the most damaging. Potatoes. There used to be 400 types of potatoes. And now you've got 2 or 3 types. But I think they had to finally give up on their genetically modified ones. Seedless watermelon, I don't know. Salmon says currently no meat, fish, or egg products are genetically engineered, though a company called Aqua Bounty has an application. They have been approved. And the salmon, what a lot of people were fussing about is the salmon that they created. This thing is a lot bigger than a normal salmon, and they're afraid that they'll kill them. And I think there's something different in their meat. Soy milk, you should never drink soy milk or anything soy, unless it has that non-GMO sticker. 93% of the soy that's grown here in the United States is genetically engineered. Rice. I don't know if you're genetically engineered, but if you buy rice, you need to make sure that there wasn't cotton grown, because with that comes arsenic. Now, the United States years ago made some rice for China, and it made the women miscarry and made a bunch of them sterile. Pissed China off. That was about the time they give us the melamine in the cat food and kill a bunch of cats. And they were giving it pretty much everybody. Japan got to where they would mix it in with their eggs. So Japan got to where they wouldn't even buy nothing from it. Food companies required to let me know whether products contain GMOs. No, not the United States. They do not have to let you know shit. I'll tell you something about corn. Me and my wife one year, we had about, I'd say not quite a quarter, it was about like an eighth of a garden, eighth of an acre of corn out. And ours was open pollinated. Anything that's not open pollinated is genetically modified or genetically engineered. These deer that migrate through here, our neighbor had a good half acre, almost probably, I'd say he almost had an acre out of just pure corn. But he got ambrosia and let's see, what else was it? Peaches and cream. Those deer and coons, they walked through his patch of corn. I mean, literally walked through it and did not touch a thing. They did not eat a bite and just wiped us out. Animals have more sense than to eat it. So the corn, they say, oh well, it costs more to grow genetically. It costs more to grow natural corn. And in a way it does. The thing that corn has when it's genetically been created is it's like June strawberries. It all comes in at one time, within a few days or a week or so. Or open pollinated doesn't. Open pollinated comes in at different times. And so you have to kind of watch your silks. But if you've got enough of it out, you're going to get a mess either way it goes. And I read something a while ago that said less chemicals used on genetically modified corn. That's a lie. Your corn husks are looser on a genetically modified, and they're thinner. What does that mean? That means bugs get into them easier. On your open pollinated corn, what I call your real corn, I'm not really sure where I left off, but another telemarketer on the phone. Also, the government gives them jobs. But anyway, these husks and everything, so they are having to use a chemical fertilizer, and it's made out of petroleum, oil, basically. Petrochemical fertilizer. And that's fine, when you're starting out, I guess, but it's NBK. It's only got 3 of the 40-something elements that you need for your soil to be healthy. But these things are loose, and these husks are. So the worms invade them. So that means a whole lot of pesticides. And you're spraying for worms that you wouldn't even have to spray for if you were growing real corn. But as long as you're, growing their corn or you're eating their corn, and you don't know what this corn's going to do to you. They can do anything to you. And if they say, oh no, we've studied it, bullshit. There's 238 distinct varieties. Seeds, they get used to your soil, your environment. They only introduced GMO sweet corn in 2011. Now, they might tell you, well, we studied it, and here's the way that goes. They open them up their own little lab. They name it another name. Have it kind of away from them a little bit. And then they test their own products, grade their own papers, if you will. Then they give it to the FDA, and the FDA says, well, good, you've already graded them. You're accepted. Especially when the head of the FDA used to work at he was a big wheel at Monsanto. Monsanto just recently sold it out to Bayer. But Monsanto split a couple of 3 years ago, to where they have the agri side of it and they have the chemical side of it. So I don't know how much they bought of what. Anyway, them wanting more money for animal feeds, no. I don't know why they would. They do, but I don't know why they would. Because you leave the corn on the stalk until it's dried out. You watch and see. You can go around and find videos of them harvesting corn. They have a machine that sometimes they pull it beside a tractor. Sometimes it is the tractor. But they go through there, and it separates the stalk from the ear. Papa used to have one like that. All his kids, he'd grow the pumpkins in with the corn, and we would he'd stop when he'd come to a pumpkin, and me and Joe would jump off the wagon, and we'd go collect that pumpkin. I'm not really sure where I left off, but another telemarketer on the phone. Also, the government gives them jobs. But anyway, these husks and everything, so they were having to use a chemical fertilizer, and it's made out of petroleum, oil, basically. Petrochemical fertilizer. And that's fine, when you're starting out, I guess, but it's NBK. It's only got 3 of the 40-something elements that you need for your soil to be healthy. But these things are loose, and these husks are. So the worms invade them. So that means a whole lot of pesticides. And you're spraying for worms that you wouldn't even have to spray for if you were growing real corn. But as long as you're, growing their corn or you're eating their corn, and you don't know what this corn's going to do to you. They can do anything to you. And if they say, oh no, we've studied it, bullshit. There's 238 distinct varieties. Seeds, they get used to your soil, your environment. They only introduced GMO sweet corn in 2011. Now, they might tell you, well, we studied it, and here's the way that goes. They open them up their own little lab, they name it another name, have it kind of away from them a little bit, and then they test their own products, grade their own papers, if you will. Then they give it to the FDA, and the FDA says, well, good, you've already graded them. You're accepted. Especially when the FDA, head of the FDA, used to work at he was a big wheel at Monsanto. Monsanto just recently sold it out to Bayer. But Monsanto split a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, to where they had the agri side of it and they had the chemical side of it. So I don't know how much they bought of what. Anyway, them wanting more money for animal feeds, no. I don't know why they would. They do, but I don't know why they would. Because you leave the corn on the stalk until it's dried out. You watch and see. You can go around and find videos of them harvesting corn. They have a machine that they, sometimes they pull it beside a tractor. Sometimes it is the tractor. But they go through there and it separates the stalk from the ear. Papa used to have one like that. When we was kids, he'd grow the pumpkins in with the corn, and we would he'd stop when he'd come to a pumpkin, and me and Joe would jump off the wagon, and we'd go collect that pumpkin. I found finally who I was trying to find, Jeffrey M. I found his name finally. Jeffrey Smith, extraordinarily smart at this. And there's a little Indian lady too, not American Indian. She's a Indian. She's good. She's smart. But Jeffrey shows you how they go in and manipulate the seeds and how they can pull that off. But anyway, I could get into more detail on the corn. Tomatoes is one thing that they've got them real bad. Matter of fact, when you go to Lowe's, Home Depot, anywhere around here that's got Bonnie seed or Bonnie plants, most all Bonnie plants are GMOs. Now they're saying the F1 isn't. It's probably like when I was a kid, Papa he liked white and he liked yellow corn all together, mixed. So he'd buy some Silver Queen, some Golden Harvest. I think it was it was a gold bent corn. And he would throw them all of his seeds into one bag, juggle them around, and then plant them. And a lot of times they would cross. And that's the way you used to get peaches and cream. Now, though, they've got that down patented pretty much. But then you got genetically engineered cotton. Over in India, it was one farmer every so many minutes committed suicide. Like our farmers used to be. They, you have to look over my voice. Now, this is not a good day for talking. But they were talked into and almost pushed into growing this genetically modified cotton. And just like any other genetically modified stuff, they had to buy more petrochemicals or petro fertilizers. Then they had to buy more more chemical pesticides. Then they had to buy more chemical herbicides. So, then they had to buy their seeds where they used to keep them. And so the first year it grew, it done real good. Second year, it done so-so. After that, it just went all to pieces. And these people, they're losing their farms because they have to borrow money to grow all this. Where it used to cost them X number of dollars, now it's like 3 times that, 4 times that. And so they've started killing themselves because they're losing their farms. It just, you get people like the benefits of GMO corn. How the hell do they know? It's not even been out that long. And it definitely wasn't tested. Anyway, in the show, this company, they were working on creating a famine. And they were the only ones had those seeds. So not only would they create a famine, they'd be rich. But now, what else do we go to? There's a movie. They also mentioned in the show a lot of underground bases, but they don't really hit on them hard. But it's called DUMBs, D-U-M-B-S, D-U-M-B, Deep Underground Military Base. And they're everywhere. You and I won't get to see them, but they're everywhere. And he also mentioned briefly, because the CIA's there, they're the one that does all this crap. They didn't call it that, but it's monarch butterfly with the butterflies. And they have MK Ultra, which I think they do call that by name, but there's a lot of different parts of MK Ultra. You know, there's the little sex kitten thing, there's the split personality thing. There's just, MK Ultra is a catch-all name. But I'll probably make another video on this. Man, this thing's got all kinds of cool information. Stuff that I've got. If you've seen the books that I have, it's ridiculous. So why am I doing this now? What are they going to do, kill me? I done got cancer, so. Okay, I could talk forever on food. Preparation, food type, harvest, planting. That's a thing with me. You are what you eat, and you are what you eat. But I mentioned a couple of things that I heard them mention on the show. One was in MK Ultra and the butterfly. This is MK Ultra. Ooh, I get to click that. It's got videos. That's MK Ultra with the videos. If that looks familiar, it are too. But there's more than just that. MK Ultra is more or less a mind control is what it is. And it's something the CIA has worked very diligently on. This is, and this, whoever owns this website has done quite a bit of research. It comes out with a bunch of stuff. I mean, a bunch. I'm impressed. That's took a lot of years studying that up, researching it out. but also him or somebody has mind control. This must be it. Oh, you're dead. Oh, shit. I wanted to show you butterflies and rabbit holes. You know, I told you it was a conglomerate. It's got many, many different sections to what it is and which one they put you under. He's got a lot of little cute things. There's an Illuminati. I see that. Green. Deprogram. I believe he was one of our group. I don't know that for sure. Short history. Dissociative identity disorder. Alter ego triggers. Mind control symbolism. Monarch symbolism. Bluebird. Multiple personalities. Symbolism. Monarch butterfly. Puppets, rainbows, white rabbits, six kittens, Mickey Mouse. Battle of Silence programming, Freemasonic oath of silence, why this matters to you. J. Edgar Hoover said, the individual is handicapped by coming face to face with a conspiracy so monstrous he cannot believe it exists. The American mind simply has not come to a realization of the evil which has been introduced into our midst. It rejects even the assumption that a human creatures could espouse a philosophy which must ultimately destroy all that is good and decent. That was J. Edgar Hoover. You can go back and read these. Adolf Huxley, who wrote, you're right. Anyway, facts do not cease to exist because they are ignored. You got a lot of cute stuff out here. And here is where MK Ultra of the CIA come from. The more we do to you, the less you seem to believe we are doing it. Joseph Mengele. Yeah, no. He was the devil himself. God, he was bad. Hopefully he's dead in hell right now. Operation Paperclip. From this, they formed NASA, the CIA, and Plum Island, or Lyme tick. Well, there's been a bunch of diseases. West Nile virus, hoof and mouth disease. There's just a lot of stuff up there. And also the Montauk monster that washed up on the beach. If you believe this stuff, yeah, right here is Al Roker. He just freezes. It's like he's a statue. He don't blink, he don't move. The expression doesn't change for quite a while. 45 seconds. Clinton, 2 minutes, same way. KN West, 31 seconds. Hollywood, compartmentalize. I want to show you that them little girls. Britney Spears, she had a breakdown, I have someone else that takes over when it's time for me to go to work. When I'm on stage, this alter ego that I've created, Beyonce. See, this dude has really collected a lot of information. Project Bluebird. Twitter is also a Bluebird. Hollywood promotes this crap, folks. Monarch butterfly. Now, what's the odds that all these fancy people are going to have butterflies all around them? And this right here, this is the hush mark. You're being told to be quiet. Also, there's an old saying that little dip in between the lips, that the devil gave you that. When he looked at you, put his finger apart and went, shh. See, I mean, look at all the people with butterflies. The other symbol they use a lot is the eye of horse. And that's when you only see one eye. I don't know which one we do here. White rabbit. Sex kitten. Why would grown up people dress like this and do that? It's like comedy. That's spooky looking. Well, I don't know what she turned out to be. So anyway, that already give you enough of Remember, this dude right here's got plenty. You can research on his website for a while. Tomorrowland. Oh, here's Edward Benet. He was nephew or cousin, some kin to Sigmund Freud. We know what a pervert he was. He says, if we understand the mechanism and motives of the group mind, it is now possible to control and regiment the masses according to our will without them knowing. Edward Bernays was the one that invented think tanks. Most of these people right here, they didn't do so well. But that's enough of that. Let's look at another thing I mentioned that they mentioned. Deep underground military bases. You can see for that they are real. Let's get some pictures of some. Some people are incident too. Some people have killed them. How's that for a hole in the ground?
Boom!
Boom.
I got you. I got you.
How's this for deep underground? They have their own waterway. There's something showing some of the bases. So you see, there is really deep underground military bases. And there's some underneath the water now. So when we're all getting slaughtered out here, they can stay alive. And it's not that they want to save anybody. They won't. Basically, to take out a lot of humanity. Well, this is already too long. Let's keep going and going and going with it. And I can keep going. But one of the things to cover. Or maybe go down into this pretty deep one time. But there are guns. Bye-bye.